And a California rush that isn't gold. The sale of recreational marijuana is officially underway with some high-minded businessmen looking to make it big. Up next, a marijuana gold rush, recreational weed, now legal in the state of California, and businesses are rushing to capitalize. But how do you scale up production from black market to big market, especially when the federal government is not on your side? Now to a story sweeping the nation. Researchers project the legalization of marijuana in California this week will be a huge new industry for the state, with billions of dollars in annual revenue and the taxes that come with it. As part of his Pot Gold Rush series, MSNBC's Jacob Soboroff met a man whose company could very well become the Starbucks, maybe the Dunkin' Donuts
Dunkin' is
of
fine.
pot.
Dunkin' is fine.
Jacob is with me now. All right,
Hey,
walk
Steph.
me through this story.
So this guy's name is Steve DeAngelo. He could be the Howard Schultz of pot, depending on how you look at it. Frank Perdue, he probably wouldn't like that analogy very much, but he's investing heavily in mass production of cannabis on the scale of big ag, and he thinks the only way to defeat the black market is by doing just that. He could make a lot of money in the process. Take a look at this.
In California's Salinas Valley, home to some of the most fertile land in the world, Harborside Farms finds itself in the middle of California's pot gold rush.
You've been waiting on this moment a really long time.
I have been working for and struggling towards this moment for my entire adult life.
Longtime activist and medical marijuana entrepreneur Steve DeAngelo has been fixing up greenhouses here to grow cannabis for California's brand new legal recreational market. He hopes by producing pot on a massive scale, he'll help knock the black market out of business and become a brand name in weed.
The number of people that can legally purchase cannabis in California is going to expand by orders of magnitude.
I mean, it's going to explode.
It's going to explode, and we're really, really concerned that there's not going to be enough cannabis to supply all of those new consumers.
DeAngelo thinks recreational pot in California could be worth as much as $15 billion just 2 years from now.
How do you keep the price cheap enough so that anybody does have access to cannabis?
So we do it by growing cannabis in the same way that we do other agricultural crops. We're just beginning. We're at nowhere near the scale that traditional big ag is, and we're still very much in a learning process. This is our propagation greenhouse. This is where we keep the youngest cannabis plants. Now, I'm going to ask you to put your feet in this little dip here, because it's very important that we keep this room clean so you don't bring in bugs, pests, mold. So here's your suit. They're coveralls.
So to me, this almost looks like, I mean, you could be growing anything in here. You could be growing anything we might find in the supermarket.
Yeah. You can grow cannabis in greenhouses that is equal or superior in quality to the cannabis that's grown in warehouses, and you can do it with a fraction of the carbon consumption. It's also a much less expensive way, under the power of the sun.
After a greenhouse tour, Steve took me to a warehouse where the harvested cannabis is processed, and we suited up for a second time.
Yes, the newest fashion trend.
Is this weed chic?
Weed chic, man. So what you see here is these are just barrels of cannabis that's already been harvested. So here, I'll show you what one of these barrels looks like on the inside.
Oh, wow.
And these are going to be extracted, and then the juice from the extract is going to be used to fill vape pens.
Oh, wow. So if you're buying a vape, you're buying this fluffy stuff.
This is how your vape pen started out.
Just out of curiosity, before you guys were working in this business, what were you doing?
Working in the field?
In the field. You like this job better?
Yeah, it's better.
We're taking cannabis out of warehouses and out of hidden little hollows and bringing it into a real agricultural community where people have the skills to deal with a crop like this. So this is the structural supports.
As DeAngelo works to increase cannabis production at his greenhouses, up in the Bay Area, he's investing money to expand his medical marijuana dispensaries for recreational sales.
We've gone from one construction site to another construction site.
Welcome to another construction site, yes.
This location is almost like ground zero. How many more of these are you going to open across California?
Well, right now we're in Oakland and San Jose. We expect to have a statewide footprint within 3 years, and we hope to be able to take this model out to the rest of the world.
Steve DeAngelo, one-of-a-kind dude. He says cannabis for all is his slogan. He really wants to keep the price down. Part of the problem, though, like if he makes all this money on cannabis, where is he going to put it? There's only like 5% of the federally chartered banks that will do any business at all with the cannabis industry.
Why? So if the state of California, one of the largest economies
In the world.
sixth
Sixth largest in the world.
says, yes, this is legal, the biggest banks out there won't let you deposit your money there?
It is still a Schedule I controlled substance, according to the federal government. And if President Obama didn't change that, I do not think that President Trump or Jeff Sessions is going to do that.
Okay, then is the issue, though, that at any point Jeff Sessions could enforce federal law?
He could.
And this big billions, the millions of dollars being invested, could go out the window?
Yeah, so you have Jerry Brown, the governor of California, making a hard push for that not to happen. And of course, there's so much money invested within the state. You got a lot of very nervous investors, business people, local municipalities that are banking on turning around their entire cities by investing in pot. Desert Hot Springs, is a story I'll have later this week, has 60 grow operations in the approval process right now, hundreds of millions of dollars in that one community.
Real estate there must be booming.
It went from $60,000 an acre to $1 million an acre in the middle of the desert on their main street.
Wow.
You're spoiling the story from later this week, Steph.
There you go. Spoiling the story. Maybe it's just a teaser. Jacob Soboroff going green this week, the green gold rush in the state of California. Who knows? Maybe New York is next.